Scale models of Brad Pitt's F1 movie car were not released in my country, so I made my own. This video shows how it's done. In real life, the APX GP movie cars were actually F2 machines pimped up to look like an F1, so there are no properly accurate castings to use as a base for the conversion. I've used a Sergio Perez Red Bull RB19 from 2023, a 143 scale diecast from Bburago. On these, undo 3 screws and the model easily splits apart, and once it's apart, further pieces can be unclipped and removed. A drill is needed to take the heads off these rivets to allow part of the side pods and the front wing to come off. In hindsight, these could probably have stayed intact because it all gets painted black a little bit later anyway. Many of the parts are plastic, so hobby knife is used to clean up visible moulding lines and a couple of sprue gate leftovers. You could just spray black over the body, but I think some of the tampo printing would show through. Not the colour, but the edges of the print. Regular paint stripper from the hardware store is used on the metal body. Simply paint it on, wait a minute or two and scrub it off. What doesn't come off first time gets a second hit, and a pointed edge like a scribe is needed to clear paint from a couple of the body gaps. It's important to lightly sand this bare metal before hitting it with etch primer. Lacquer thinner on a cotton bud can be used to remove the decoration from the remaining body parts, again so that the edges of the print don't show through the final colour. The rubber tyres that come on these Bburago models are easy to remove, and that allows better access to the red highlight around the edge of the rim, which comes off easily with the thinners. I was concerned the carbon fibre texture on the front wing might hold paint and hinder the removal of the decoration, but it wasn't a problem and was quickly cleaned off. Multiple layers on the engine cover took a bit more time. This part is moulded in Red Bull blue, so once the transition from the body colour to yellow was levelled out, I didn't bother to take the rest of the yellow off. With the metal sanded and parts mounted on alligator clips, Tamiya's fine grey primer gave them all a uniform finish, ready for the new colour. SMS gloss black into the airbrush, plus a little levelling thinner, and this went on all the parts that needed it. They got a couple of coats during the one painting session, lighter coats to build up the colour at the beginning and then a wetter coat to get some shine at the end. For the gold sections, I experimented with some homemade decal, and what I mean by that is spraying gold paint, in this case Tamiya's TS21, onto a piece of clear decal film. As a comparison, this shows the rear wing masked and sprayed gold alongside the painted decal film. Once dried, I cut a shape for the nose and applied it to the model. It went down surprisingly well, the paint didn't crack at all, but the problem was getting the shape of the decal right in the first place. After a couple of attempts didn't give the result I was hoping for, I masked the nose the old-fashioned way and sprayed the TS21, decanted and run through the airbrush. I did use the gold decal on the side pods, but we'll get to that shortly. Moment of truth, removing the masking. This is rewarding when things have turned out well, and it has. There's no bleeds at all. I'm quite happy with how the rear wing has turned out, as with the main body. There's always a risk of lifting the underlying paint when removing the masks, but everything here worked fine. And if you're curious, I'm using Tamiya masking tapes here. With that all done, it's on to reassembly. A spot of super glue on the rivets holds the bottom of the side pod openings in place, then the rest of the model can come together. Just make sure you use the correct screw for the relevant hole, as they are not all the same. Once the screws are all tight, the front wing is secure, but because the rivet was drilled out earlier, there is some free play, so again, CA glue does the job. Just check it's level with the floor before the adhesive cures. The tyres easily pop back on. Just note that the rears only have Pirelli logos printed on one side, so make sure that's facing out. And then you have one sexy looking black and gold race car, but we're not done. It was only when aftermarket decoration became available that the potential to build this model became reality. I sourced decals from Paddo's Place, but I believe they are produced from the digital skins for computer games and not designed to meet the measurements of a diecast model. Also, I had to order two sheets, one with the black ink deleted and the other with the brownish gold missing. So the decoration ended up costing over twice the amount of the original donor model. Each decal has to be cut out individually from the sheet. They went down really well. The sponsor logos were close to scale, but the zigzag graphics turned out to be quite a way off, so don't look too close at those. The gold along the bottom of the side pods is the homemade decal mentioned earlier, but it doesn't truly reflect the movie car, as the side pods on the model are a very different shape. This was a bit of a quick and nasty conversion, only took a couple of days, but at a glance it looks like the movie car. And it has more detail than the F1 Movie promotional version that McDonald sold in a few countries. If you wanted to up-spec the build, I guess you could use a Spark model as a donor, but you'd still have the fit issue with the decoration. Could the conversion be done in other scales? Yeah, totally. But I'd imagine with a larger scale, the mismatch of decoration to model shape would be more noticeable. So it's far from accurate, but it's an interesting and unique addition to the collection, and let's be honest, it's hard to criticise a shiny black and gold race car. Cheers.